Welcome to One Insight. My name is Rich Litvin. I grew up in London and I now live in LA. And this is a podcast for extraordinary top performers and their coaches. You see, I've coached some of the most successful and talented people on the planet. I can see what most people cannot see, and I dare to say what most people wouldn't dare to say. And what I know about success is that on the other side of it, it can be incredibly lonely. You can feel more of an imposter the more successful you become. And when you're the most interesting person in the room, you're actually in the wrong room. Clients who are more successful, more intelligent, and wealthier than you need your support more than they know and more than you can imagine. I coach around insight. Life looks one way, something happens, and the world looks different, and your entire world changes. It can happen in an instant. And this podcast is called One Insight because a single insight can change everything. There's no mystery to creating clients. There's no mystery to having a six-pack stomach. If you want to have a six-pack, there's a certain amount of exercise you need to do and a certain type of nutrition that you need to have. And you need to track it. If you track it, anyone who has a great body because they've worked out or they're an athlete tracks what they do. They simply do. Is it interesting? No, it's boring as hell. My brother and myself have kind of competed over the years to see who looks fitter and healthier. And he's looking much better than I have for the last few years because he goes to the gym more regularly and he literally has a scale in his kitchen where he measures how many ounces of meat he's going to have with each meal. That bores me. It doesn't interest me, which is why he's got a better looking body than I do. And I've made a decision, well, I'm not willing to do that, so I'm not going to have the body that he has. I could make that decision. Every single time over the years, I've had a client, whether it's in a program or one-on-one, who says, I'm really frustrated. I'm not getting the results. You said there'll be results. So I say, okay, just pull out your tracking sheet. Tell me, how many people do you connect with, invite, create, propose? How many no's did you get? How much money did you make in proposals? They're like, I don't know. And that's why. That's why. There's no mystery to this. And there's some little tips I can give you. If you ever drive a Porsche, old or new, you will see that the dashboard has looked similar for over 50, 60 years. There are 5 dials in front of you in a Porsche. And the center one is always the biggest one. And for that entire time, it's never changed. It's the rev counter. Because if you're driving a Porsche, you want to feel that engine underneath you. You want to hear that engine. You want to see that rev counter going up. It's the most important dial. So whilst it really is important to track, connect, invite, create, propose, track your no's, track how much money you make in proposals, and then finally track the income, you can pick one of your dials that really moves things for you. And you have to decide what that is. Whether that's collecting no's, it might be the no game. Okay, you know what? I'm going to track these other things, but I might not be doing it constantly. What's the one thing I'm going to track no matter what? And I've told you for me, it's simple. I know that I have to have 2 colors on my calendar, blue and red. If there's not enough red on my calendar, then I'm going to have run out of clients in days, weeks, or months. It's simply going to happen. I have to have a mix of red. Not every week. I use a quarter. Every 3 months is a kind of, I scan across every 3 months. And it's like, oh, okay, I need to find some way of getting new people onto my calendar. I got to be constantly creating clients. That's my rev counter. That's the one dial I cannot drop. You have to decide what that is for you because it can get boring. Who knows that feeling of, I'm filling up the left-hand side of the column and getting lots of connects, but I'm not getting many invitations. I'm not coaching many people. So I'm frustrated, I'm bored, I'm going to put the sheet to one side. Who knows the other one, which is I keep looking at the right-hand column, which is income, and I don't see that going up. So what's the point of tracking the stuff on the left? I'm frustrated. And so I give up because the right-hand column is not going up fast enough. I understand this, I really do. So you've got to find it work in a way that works for you. It really worked for me when I had Steve Chandler as my partner because we made it a game. We'd fill an event together and we would literally call each other each evening or text each other and say, how many minutes did you spend serving people today? We tracked the minutes serving people. And we made it a game. He'd always text me and go, hey, I spent 3 more minutes than you, I win. You got to find out what will work for you and how to gamify it, how to make it fun. Because if it's boring, it's not going to work. But that's the game. For years, I used a little red book. I still got a little red book in front of me right now. I use it for my notes, but I used a little red book. It was like dating. Just put down on one page who you've spoken to, what you spoke about, and write something about them. And write the last time you spoke to them. There's an app called Trello, Trello. I like Trello. It's much more visual than a spreadsheet because I put photos in of people. Like I last spoke to Jim in April. Let me speak to him. I'll call him today, and then I can move him to the column that says August, and I can track people. And I find that one very visual. Whatever it is, it could be a great big sheet of paper on the wall behind you with colorful images. I drew a red double-decker bus once when Steve and I were trying to fill an event in London, and I filled in every window when somebody signed up. Connect, invite, create, propose. That, if you take one thing away, that any time you are off track, you get back to tracking, your world will change. Same for your fitness. If you get off track and you realize that my tummy's growing, my muscles aren't as strong as they used to be, get back to tracking for a few days or a few weeks. Doesn't have to be forever, but get back to tracking and things will begin to go up. And you have to remember about the fact that the right-hand column, income coming in, is a lag indicator. The phrase I like to use is stop using your bank account as a barometer for your emotions. Stop using your bank account as a barometer for your emotions. Use it as a barometer for your actions. When my bank account goes up, I used to get excited. And when it went down, I used to get scared. So I want this emotional roller coaster. Instead of going, oh, the bank account's high today. How did I make that happen? Oh, what if I did that again? Bank account's low. What do I need to do? And I play like that. For most of human history, it wasn't called coaching. It was called leadership. And it's what I love to do, to coach people, to lead people, and to mess with people's thinking. If you'd like more of this, or if you'd like to learn more about our community of extraordinary top performers, go to richlitvin.com/oneinsight.